Hey guys, my name is Ella and I'm the owner of Chronicles. I wanted to come on and introduce myself before jumping right in. I don't think I've ever done like a talking video before, so most of you probably don't know what my voice sounds like. I started Chronicles back in 2018. I've been knitting and crocheting since 2016, and I started selling my stuff in 2020. So within the last year and a half, it's definitely been really amazing. I've gotten to have a lot of opportunity to sell my stuff in new places, to vend in new places. Recently starting to sell my stuff at Comfy Komodo, which is a fun little gift or thrift shop. And yeah, it's just been a really amazing year in a really shitty year. COVID obviously was not the best, but I think a lot of good came out of it personally, in terms of personal growth and realizing that I wanted to focus more on my business and get out of the corporate world. I wanted to make my first video a fun little pattern. We're going to be doing this lovely little hair kerchief. It should only take you 30 to 45 minutes depending on your level, but it'll introduce you to a lot of new stitches if you don't know the scallop stitch, and increasing as well because it's a triangle. It's not going to be a straight line, but it's fairly easy because it's very repetitive. So let's get started. Okay, so we're going to go over the materials that we need. You're going to need some scissors. You're going to need a 5mm crochet hook, which is size H/8, and you're going to need some sort of level 4 medium yarn. We are going to get the yarn out of the middle, like always. This is always what I do. The only type of yarn I don't do this with is the sugar and cream yarns, because it always knots up, but this is fine. So we're gonna start with a slip knot. How we do that is we lay the yarn in our hands like this, and then we cross the small tail over the large tail, and then put both of our fingers in, then grab the big tail and pull through. That's just how I do the slip knot, and it's called a slip knot because it slips back and forth and it's not going to be a hard knot. Show you that one more time. Lay the yarn up and over left side of your finger, little tail over the big tail, both fingers in that little hole you made, and then pull the big tail through. Okay, now we're going to insert our hook and then pull on the big tail to make it tight on our hook. We're going to start off by chaining 7. And that's what 7 chains looks like. And we are going to slip stitch into the first chain that we did. So insert, yarn over, pull through, and then pull through. And that's going to create that lovely little circle that we want to see. We're going to chain 3. And then we're going to crochet inside the circle here. So yarn over. We're going to be doing double crochet. We're going to put 4 double crochets in here, and the first chain 3 does count as a double crochet, so the total will be 5 technically. So 3 and 4. So we're counting the first 3 chains that we did as a 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we're going to chain 2, insert our hook, and do 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, what that should look like. Now we're going to turn our work, and we're going to be adding 2 double crochets into the first stitch and the last stitch, and we're going to alternate between adding 2 in the first, 2 in the last, to doing 1 in the first, 1 in the last, and back and forth until we reach the end. So you're going to chain 1 and turn, yarn over, and you're going to insert 2 double crochets into the first stitch, double crochet all the way down, and we're not going to forget about the stitch right before the chain space. It's easy to forget about that guy right there. We're going to insert that, and now we have the chain space. So now we're going to insert 3 into the chain space, and 3, and then we're going to chain 2, and then enter 3 more into the chain space. And then we're going to not forget about this little guy either, and double crochet all the way to the end, and don't forget to add the 2 double crochets in the final stitch. But in this case, the final stitch is going to be that chain 3 that we did, so it's going to be a little difficult to get it in there at first, but when you do, it'll be fine. Just make sure that it's not too tight. Okay, it should look like that. Okay, next we're going to do the next round by chaining 1 after we turned, and this time we're going to be putting 1 double crochet into the first stitch and 1 all the way down into each stitch until we reach the chain space. When we reach the chain space, we're going to add 3 double crochets, 2 chains, and then an additional 3 double crochets. Okay, so I'm almost at the chain space. So here it is. 1, 2, and 3, and then chain 2, 1, 2, and 3. Don't forget about that last guy that always hides after you do the last chain 3 there, and then double crochet into each all the way until the end. And the last one, again, only 1 double crochet into the last stitch. And now we're going to continue that pattern with the last 2 rows that we did. So row 2 and 3, we're going to alternate those until we get 1, 2, 3, 4, until we get 10 of these, and don't mind my cat, 10 of the chain spaces completed. If you wanted it to be a little bit bigger, you could do 11 or 12. I like 10, and it works up very fast. So the next round will be 2 double crochets in the first and 2 double crochets in the last. The row after that will be 1 in each. Row after that will be 2 in each. And then by that point, it should be almost done, or you need to do 1 more round. Either way, you can make this as little or as large as you would like. It is simply just increasing in these chain spaces that's causing this to grow. And we also increased on these edges here, which also causes this to grow. Because if we didn't do these, then it would be not too straight. So I'm just going to finish this up, and I'm going to meet you back until you have 10 or however many little eyelets here, or increased chain spaces that you want. So I'll meet you back when you're finished. So the scalloped edging, I do it a little bit differently. First, you should be at one of your corners. You're going to skip one stitch and go into the next with 6 double crochets. And then when you're done with that, you're going to skip the next stitch and slip stitch into the stitch after that. And then skip the next stitch and DC 6. And you're repeating that all the way around. You basically skip one, slip stitch, skip one, DC 6, skip one, slip stitch, and you do that all the way around until the end. And I will meet you back when this is complete. Alright, this is what it should look like when the scalloped edging is done. The only thing left to do is chain 30 for the right strap, and then we're gonna break off and then attach the yarn on the other corner and chain 30. And this is my sample. This has 11 eyelets, and the straps are a little longer than 30. If 30 doesn't match your head size, you can make it smaller or larger, but this is what it should look like when it's finished, and that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed. I definitely hope to make some more videos like this in the future, and yeah.